Okay, welcome back in at 6:14 right now. Most schools and businesses in Maryland are at least partially open, but the details on how to restart extracurricular activities, things like chorus and band, are still being worked out. Researchers at the University of Maryland have been working for months now to see how people can get back to doing what they love safely. We have WMAR News' Aaron McPherson on that story this morning with more on what they've found out. Good morning, Aaron.
Good morning, Christian. Well, they actually started the study focusing on just playing instruments and then quickly switched to focusing just on the voice. That's because they found out that singing or just talking loudly actually released more particles than focusing on than those instruments actually released. They quickly changed their focus from just instruments to the voice, and most instruments can have their own type of mask, a bell cover to keep the particles from spreading, and singing with a mask on is a little more challenging. So they studied both using different methods. They have machines that calculate how many particles are being released. They use smoke and lasers to detect the particles and a high-tech camera to catch it all so they can break it down. They also tested using makeshift filters right next to the singer, which proved to be effective as long as the filter is near the source.
Where they're putting air supply, where they're putting people, and where they're putting air exhaust matters a lot, because you can imagine I can breathe out, air goes by me and goes out, it's fine, but I can breathe out, air comes in and then moves around to find somewhere to exhaust. That's not good.
They also studied how long you can be in a filtered room to limit exposure. They found 30 minutes was the best inside, flush it out, and then you can go for another 30. For outside, it was 60 minutes, and under a tent was right in the middle at about 45 minutes. They say that's because the airflow slows down under a tent. And these are just the preliminary findings, but they are still working on this research. Christian?
So, Aaron, yeah, that is interesting how it could impact the wider public, not just singers and performers. But what's the biggest takeaway from the study?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It definitely impacts everyone. I mean, when we're talking about the filtration system, Dr. Sebrich also explained to me that in buses or in public transportation, that's where they also studied kind of those filters. So it's not just in a classroom when it comes to filters being in the back of a classroom or in a bus. That's kind of, so it can be really anywhere. And then the biggest takeaway is just the masks. I know we've heard it before, but they said if people or instruments wear a mask, that's the best way to prevent the spread of the virus.